Hi everyone, my name is Becky from Back to Blighty and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm wearing the Simplicity 1609, which is a basic shift dress that I think was free in a magazine 2 or 3 years ago. Really great pattern. It's often done in a cotton blend or a woven fabric, but I decided to do an autumn winter version and I changed it slightly by adding some pockets from a vintage pattern. So I shall stand up and give you a little look. So here's my big pockets. It's super cosy. As I said, it's in a brushed cotton, and I know I'm going to get loads of wear out of it again this year. I actually made it last year. So today my video is a little bit different, and it's based on an idea that Jane had from Jane Makes. I shall put her Instagram link down here. Now, back in August she wrote a blog post about her desert island sewing patterns. Now, if any of you live in the UK or you listen to Radio 4, you'll know that there's a programme called Desert Island Discs, and every week someone is chosen, a celebrity, an author or a musician, something like that, and they're asked to choose 8 records or songs that they would take with them on a desert island and the reasons why. And they're also asked to take a book and an essential item. Now, when I asked Jane if I could borrow her idea and do a YouTube video, she said yes. So thanks, Jane. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my 8 patterns, my book and my sewing essential, and hopefully it will take you through a bit of autumn as well. So let's get started. The first pattern I've chosen is the Wearing History World War II Homefront Overalls, and those of you who follow me on Instagram or my blog or have seen previous videos will know that I really love this pattern. I shall give you a close-up. There we go. So on this pattern you've got some different options. You've obviously got the overalls, you've got some trousers, and you've also got like a little play suit with shorts. There's also a jaunty little cap in there as well, so if you're into your revival type things, then this could be the pattern for you. I really like this pattern. I've made 2 pairs. I shall show you my denim pair. Here they are. Now, I must admit, I was looking at them earlier and they're looking a little bit well loved. They're sort of starting to fade in a few places, but I really like the waistband because it cinches you in the right place, especially if you're a pear shaped like me, because the trousers just skim over the hips and they're quite wide. I really like the button detail, and I do like the sweetheart neckline. So yeah, so they're a really good wear. They're good for this time of year because they keep everything tucked in, so it keeps you cosy and warm, and I wear these an awful lot. So the reason I've chosen them is because they're probably my favourite pattern of everything I've made. I get the most wear out of them, and they're just a really nice, interesting project to make, so that's my first one. My next pattern is going to be the Simplicity 1419. Now, I shall give you a close-up of this. There's 2 options. There's one with a collar and no sleeves, and one without a collar and with little cap sleeves. Now, I wouldn't have looked twice at this pattern, but I saw it made up on Rosie over on Stone's channel, and I really liked the dress. I love the way it's got a high neck, so for winter you can wear thermals and things like that underneath, which is also really cool. Or is it cool to wear thermals? Anyway, and I just really like the fact that it's got a pleated skirt, and you can dress it up or down. It could be done in a cotton woven for the summer, or it could be done in a thicker fabric like a brushed cotton or a wool blend in the winter. So I've got one to show you here. You might have seen this on Instagram recently. It is a cotton dress, but as I said, I can wear thermals underneath and woolly tights, no one's going to know. But I really like this detail here. So at the top there's this little teardrop detail, and it's got a little rouleau loop and a button fastening here. It has got an invisible zip, so you haven't got to worry about getting it on and off. It's got a nice pleated skirt, and you can put pockets in. I have in the past, I've made another one of these, and I'm in the process of making a 3rd one, and I've put pockets in both of those, but I didn't quite have enough fabric for this one. But it's a really simple sew, and also for me, I work with young people, so when you're bending over quite a lot, it's quite good to keep everything tucked in, so it's quite good for work. I love this fabric, it is just beautiful. I got it from the pumpkin patch, I'll put a link below, and it's just really autumnal and my colours. So love this dress. I just thought what I would do is I would show you what what I do with the pattern, because I did make a few changes. Now quite often I get some gaping here and also across the back, and I'm quite small up here. So what I do is I take my pattern, oh, this is the back bodice, and I slash it down to just above the dart and then slash it right through the centre of the dart. And I've taken this in 1/2 inch, so you just pivot it together. It makes the dart at the bottom a bit wider, but that's fine. You still use the same lines to sew that up, and that gets rid of that extra bulk. So thought I'd share that with you. The other thing that I do to that pattern as well, which I have to do quite a lot, is I have to lower the neckline. I think I've got quite a short neck, so quite often I have to take 1 inch or 2 inches out here as well, but that fixes that problem for me. So again, a really good pattern. You can make it in all sorts of woven fabrics, and it will be beautiful for this time of year as well as the summer. The next pattern I've got is the McCools 7919, and it's a vintage pattern, so I shall give you a close-up. So you've got 3 options for these blouses. I've made 6 blouses with this pattern now, and I know I'm going to make more, so that's the reason why I've included it on this video. There's the open neck version, there's a rounded collar, which is a beautiful collar, and it's got sort of straight corners, so it's not quite a Peter Pan, and also the pussy bow version. So this one I made in a winter cotton print. It reminds me of Quentin Blake's illustrations. I shall give you a little close-up. So I really love the colours and the ice skaters. It's really sort of festive. So I made this for Christmas last year. This one's the open neck version, which looks great with the Wearing History overalls. And it's got little cuff sleeves, and it's also got these little tucks, 2 little tucks each side, and there's 4 at the back as well, which just sort of cinch it in. So it looks great with high-waisted items like trousers or a skirt, but it looks equally good outside skinny jeans. So this one is a firm favourite with me. I've made 6 of them so far, so that is why this is on my list. So pattern number 4 is the Decades of Style 1940s Empire waist trousers. I shall give you a close-up of those as well. So these are a really, really basic make. I haven't got them out to show you. They were in my last video, but they are black and they would just flood the light in here. So if you want to have a look, you can go and have a look at them there. I love the details in them. I love the cuffs at the bottom. I made them in a wool blend, which look really nice, but they're a super flattering fit, again with a pear shape. They cinch you in at the waist and then just flow over the hips, so they're a great make. Also really easy. If you haven't made trousers before, I do really recommend this pattern, because there's just 4 pieces, fronts, backs, and then you've got the band on the inside as well, and there's 4 darts, so you can really easily manipulate them to suit your sizing. Got a little invisible zip up at the back, so there's no zip flies or anything like that you have to worry about. Also, they're just super flattering and look gorgeous on. As long as you've got a drapey fabric. I did them in a wool blend, which moved really nicely, and I've got some more wool in like a navy blue that I'd like to do them in too. Linen would be nice for the summer, but we're talking about autumn and winter here, right? So yeah, really good pattern, really recommend that one. My next choice is the Anna dress, and all of you, I'm sure, have heard of the By Hand London pattern that is the Anna dress, because it's amazing. And the reason I've chosen this dress is because everyone I've seen looks so good and the fit is amazing, and it's just so easy and quick to sew. So I'm going to show you a picture. I've just got a line drawing because mine was a PDF pattern. So here we go. Okay, so I've made 2 of these dresses. I made the mermaid dress, which you will have seen in a previous video, but we're talking about autumn, so I'm going to show you my other Anna dress, and it's in this lovely print, this bird print, which is really beautiful. It's got like this petrol blue, and it's really lovely. Again, I can get away with it this time of year because it's a darker colour, and if you wear sort of a dark cardigan, it looks really nice. It's also lined. They're really easy to line, so that gives you a bit of extra warmth. Otherwise, changes I've made, I did drop the neckline a little bit because, as I said, I'm a bit short in that area. And with this one, I added a waistband. The reason I did that is because I just wanted to emphasise that waist a bit more. So I used black cotton to do that. And then what I did is I used my embroidery stitches on my machine to pulling the colours a bit together because it looked a bit stark just with the black, so I just did that. I shall give you a close-up. And I think they look a little bit like bird footprints. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, really love this dress. I used a gathered skirt on this one, and I used a gathered skirt on my mermaid one as well, so I haven't tried the Anna skirt yet, but I must do that. But it's a really good make, really easy to sew, so I recommend that one. So we're on number 6 already, and 6 is the Sew Over It vintage shirt dress. Now I've made 6 of these again, I think, so that's the reason it's on my list, is it's so versatile. I've made 2 sleeveless versions, I've made short sleeve versions for the summer, but I've also made 3 winter ones. I've made one in a wool, one in a brushed cotton, and I've got another one here in a wool as well, but this one's a little bit different. So here we go. This fabric I bought from Ditto Fabrics last year, and this was my Christmas dress last year. It is a wool mix, and it's got this beautiful flocked spot on it. I don't know if you can see that. They're sort of little furry spots, which is a bit of a pain when it comes to ironing, because I have to iron it on the inside. I have to remember that. But it's really warm, and it's still got a beautiful drape as well. This one's a long sleeve version, or should I say 3/4 length sleeve version. And you can see that I put a bit of rickrack around the cuffs and on the shoulder for a bit of detail. And the red buttons, it looks great with a red belt and red shoes. So the fabric isn't that soft, but it's not itchy, and I always wear a slip anyway underneath this dress, so it doesn't bother me. I just wanted to show you can make something very autumnal and wintry, even though it's normally a summer based pattern. So I had to alter the bodice by lengthening it about 1 inch. That's the only alteration I need to make on this dress. Really simple, so instructions are really clear. So that one goes on my list as well. My next pattern is the Seamwork Astoria. Now again, if you haven't heard of this pattern, where have you been? It is the quickest sew for a jersey top that I've come across in a long time. I've only made one of these, but I'm going to make loads more. I've got loads of jerseys cut out, ready to go. So this one is a grey one that I made a little while ago. It's a really good fit. I think I might lengthen the bodice by 1 inch or 2, just because this one just sits a little bit high. It's not really noticeable, and I do wear it, but I just will make that alteration next time. Super quick, made in about 3/4 of an hour, really comfy, and yeah, just a really good staple, so that one's on my list. Now my final pattern is the Simple Sew skater dress. I'll give you another close up here. So this one has a lovely V detail at the back, which is really flattering, and I made my safari print dress, which was on a previous vlog, out of this bodice. For autumn I've made this one, which is in a cotton still, but again I can wear something underneath it, and I can wear a cardigan, but the dark tones allow me to wear it for this time of year. So it's really lovely. I didn't use the sleeves purely because I quite like to go without sleeves under a cardigan. I don't like all the rucking up underneath, it really annoys me, so I've gone for this option. I'll show you the V at the back, and also with this one I just did a gathered skirt, and I added pockets as well as my pockets, because, you know, why not? Everyone wants pockets, right? I'd like to make a cardigan in this purple colour. So I've got to do that. I'm thinking the Jenna cardigan, but anyway, I digress. So this one is on my list purely because it's just really flattering, and it's a great pattern. Again, really simple, really easy to line, although this one I didn't. I just did a spotty facing, so I'll wear a slip underneath it for this time of year. So that's all the patterns. Now onto the book. Well, it was really difficult for me, and I ended up choosing 2 books. Sorry. I know it's going to be long enough already, this video, but it was like choosing between my children, so I've chosen 2. The first one, though, isn't a sewing book. It's actually a dress and fashion book, and it's just one of those books I can pore over for hours, so I would take this with me just to while away the time on my desert island. The book is called Horaces Fashion by Christine Boydell, and it is the history of Horrockses, and it was a ready-to-wear label in the 1940s and 50s. And I'm just going to show you a few things in there. Each chapter starts off with a beautiful sample of their fabric. I'm just going to take my post-its out. So here's one of their cottons. It's absolutely beautiful. Love that. Now the reason I really like this book is because obviously they're the most beautiful dresses in there, and I love their play on fabric. So you can see with this dress here, they've used a contrast around the front band, but they haven't used another fabric. They've used what they've got, so they've cut into this fabric in a certain way to incorporate that detail, and I really like that. You don't get that on clothes nowadays. I just wish they still sold clothes, because I'd be broke, I'd buy the lot. I'll show you another example, so another post-it. So here is another play on some stripes, and you can see how they've, you know, been imaginative and used the direction of the print to make that gorgeous dress. Also in there are photographs of obviously all the dresses and the people wearing them. So here is Peggy Rimmer, photographed at Tarleston Church of England Primary School in 1951. So here is the dress, and there's a photo of the lady wearing the dress there, which is really, really nice as well. Also got some gorgeous illustrations of their advertising and full of history, and it's just perfect. So I could look at that for hours. Now, I first got that from the library, and then I banged on about it forever, and I got it for Christmas. So top tip there, if you want something badly enough for Christmas, if you keep harping on about it, you'll probably get it. So yeah, really good book. However, if I've got to choose a sewing book, I would choose this one, How to Use, Adapt and Design Sewing Patterns by Lee Holohan. This is a brilliant book, and this is my go-to for any changes in patterns. So it's got everything in there about preparing a commercial pattern, about darts, how to mark your fabric and things like that. But the bit that I'm really interested in is how you can adapt patterns. So if you have a block, or you could use it on a commercial pattern, if you've got a sleeve, say, and you wanted to change it, it has all the examples here. So how to do a half circle sleeve, how to do a puff sleeve, a keyhole sleeve with a cuff, a bell sleeve, a raglan sleeve, and so on. The other thing about it is that it's all on one page, so you can just get your pattern piece out, read through this, and it tells you exactly what to do. So it's a really good resource. In the back it's got all the blocks, so you can make your own patterns to fit you, and then you can use the book itself to recreate the styles you want. So a really good book, really recommend that one. So the last thing on my list is my essential item, and it took me a while to choose this as well, because I think, what is the one thing that fills me with joy every time I use them? And it has to be my scissors. Now, I got these from Lewis about a year ago, and I love them for several reasons. One is because they're made from reclaimed railway tracks, so they're really heavy. They're not going to wear out. These are going to last me a lifetime. I mean, obviously I'll have to get them sharpened. You can hear how heavy they are actually. Really heavy. They're so sharp. They just make cutting out fabric just wonderful. A really good experience. So, you know, I sort of cut away and it's really satisfying. They've got a really long blade, and I like to think they're going to be a bit of an heirloom one day, because they're never going to wear out and someone else might enjoy them in years to come. So that would be my essential item. So that's it, we got to the end. That's all my desert island sewing plans and my essential tool, and also my books. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I'd really like to hear about what patterns you would take with you and what books you would choose and so on. Also, you can follow the hashtag Desert Island Patterns for people that are on Instagram or on YouTube. I would be really interested to hear what your choices would be. So thanks for spending a bit of time with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care. Until next time.